women.
Being distracted is estimated to be responsible for part of all road accidents. Women drivers drive like they care for the road. Men are perceived as aggressive behind the wheel. So, are women drivers more careful when behind the wheel?
Hi, my name is Brimo. So, as you party and as you drink and have fun and dance, don't forget, do not drink and drive. And for your own safety, keep watching Road Matters on NTA Network.
If you look at the ratio of the men and female drivers around the city, you will agree with me that it is close to a ratio of 20-80. Probably the women that are on the wheels are only about 20%, while most of the people driving are actually male. Possibly this has increased because of the commercial aspect of the driving. There are some few women or female that are in the driving profession, but they are actually very, very few compared to the men on the wheel. But you can see, so that can make that number very wide when it comes to the issue of it. So maybe I will agree with you that on the ratio of offenses, the male drivers has the highest number of offense, even the highest number of fatality if there are crashes, possibly because of social reasons equally, not only because we have to look at these issues altogether and not differently. That is why the number of males probably that make traffic offenses are much, much higher than those of the women.
There's just something about speed and simplicity, but that speed and simplicity can be deceiving when you get behind the wheel. 30-year-old Emily sent this text message to her husband: "I love you and I'll try to make you happy." Moments later, Emily was killed when her car slammed into the back of a tractor trailer. 18-year-old Midi was also texting when his car slammed into the back of a truck at 80 miles per hour. His final text was,
"Driving and Facebooking is not safe. Ha ha."
"You probably think that this thing can happen to you. You are not alone." 55% of young adult drivers say that it is easy to text and drive. 3/4 of the same young adults feel that they are really good texting behind the wheels. Reality is, they are all delusional. That quick look at your phone takes longer than you think. 5 seconds are really long. Imagine you're driving on the road and someone suddenly covers your face for 5 quick seconds, like this. You will probably feel very lucky if you didn't crash. But you chose to take your sight off the road just like that anytime you're sending or reading a text. Texting and driving is fast becoming the leading cause of teens' death on the road world over, surpassing even drinking and driving. But if you think dying in a car crash is the worst thing that happens to you, I tell you it is not. You can survive after you've killed someone else. Imagine spending the rest of your life knowing you killed someone just because of a text message. Now imagine going to jail just because of text message. Still think it will never happen to you? Still think you're the special one? There are so many that have been found guilty of texting while driving. But you can make a difference, just like so many young people have vowed not to text and drive. Leave your cell phone alone while driving. If you must send a text message, pull off the road into a parking lot or anywhere that is safe. No text is so important that it should cost your life or the life of someone else. You are not different. You are not special. You're just another accident waiting to happen if you do not desist from texting and driving. So, don't text and drive.
Women are naturally more careful and somehow alert when it comes to dealing on issues. Maybe the men face more danger than the women, so they are always. That is now we're talking about like psychology. What I'm trying to say is people look. Men are more brave, so I think that kind of nature is actually affecting, including their driving performance. The women are always trying to be very careful and make sure that they do everything in the right way, while the men are almost every day trying to chase issues. You know, so those are factors. But I believe that all those things has to do with instincts as well as character. There are so many men that drive to perfection because it all have to do with your own mental capacity. And to know that, look, I am not only driving for myself, I am equally driving for other road users, because that is what we call defensive driving. And defensive driving does not know man or a woman. I think it's a general term that all of us are supposed to inculcate in our day-to-day activities. And that is very critical. Maybe that is the area where some people believe women drive with much due care and attention than the men.
Hi, my name is Brimo. So, as you part and as you drink and have fun and dance, don't forget, do not drink and drive. And for your own safety, keep watching Road Matters on NTA Network.
Gender differences do exist mainly in terms of space and attention. Action and force is regarded as masculine traits, and since driving requires maneuvering ability and presence of mind to cope with uncertainties on the road, all can be guilty of lack of concentration. However, women are confident and have the necessary physical ability to drive. Let's not forget serious traffic accidents are caused by incompetent and reckless drivers, no matter the gender.
No matter how you look at it, even when they were chasing women is doing this, it's just because of the delay. People are not just patients. So they are thinking that the lady should have just drive like the way a man drive. You see, if you see a lady driving like this, looking ahead straight and making sure that you know that, this one a lady, doing nothing, she's concentrating. That's just the truth. And, you know, the movement particularly is very difficult. You see a lady's car traveling from north to south, east to west. It's very difficult. But a man is always on the move. looking for one thing or the other. No, naturally, it's like that. So I think, yeah, if you ask me, I will go for a ladies' car because I know, depending on my schedule anyway, most of the ladies' cars seems to be better managed. That's the truth because of low activities when you compare with that of a man car.
Much as it is International Women's Day, safety on the road is a responsibility of all. Let us all celebrate women as they drive responsibly on the road. Here are some tips.
Always keep your seat in the right position according to your comfort. Avoid wearing heels while driving. Learn the basic car care skills like changing a flat tire, refilling coolant and oil. Know the signs to understand when there is a problem. Do the needful. Read instructions and familiarize yourself inside out about the car. Learn to do the morning parade before driving out. Don't be intimidated on the road if you know you are on the right path. Lastly, don't be rough and obey all traffic rules and regulations. Practice makes a man perfect, women inclusive.
As we celebrate, we should remember, as we're responsible in our homes, we should take that responsibility on the road as we drive. Happy International Women's Day. Be safe on the road and drive to live. Bye-bye.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the YouReport link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
Aquaculture as a world emergent industry and one of the fastest growing food production subsector in the world. And due to the apparently declining global fish catch, aquaculture is crucial for food security and nutrition for a rapidly growing global population in the nearest future. Approximately 200 million people around the world are involved in fishing and aquaculture, one way or the other, with efforts to provide around 100 million tons of fish every year. This will mean an average consumption of 16 kilos per person, but in many places where fish is the principal source of animal protein, average consumption is far higher. Much of the bountiful harvest is produced not just by large industrial operators, but by local small and medium-scale producers. And do you know that half the fish supplied to world markets come from developing countries? In Africa, Latin America, and Asia, Africa is blessed with abundant resources, human and natural, that are only now being properly tapped and harnessed. The success story of aquaculture abound in Nigeria, Ghana, and Malawi. And we bring the focus of the world onto glaring cases in Nigeria, which is the Ijebu-Iriwe Fish Farm village in Ijebu-Ode, which rears the African catfish.
There is no end to knowledge, and the industry too, there is still room for them to learn more. So mountain training and training and retraining is also a key to enhance productivity.
Iriwe Farms has gained international recognition from bodies like FAO of the United Nations, DFID, JICA, UNDP.
On our own part is to source for more fund for them, because really speaking, there is no way you can really grow well in this kind of business without adequacy of resources. Without borrowing, without getting some loans, there is a limit on the growth. With 4,937 pounds, if they have 2 billion, access to 2 billion naira, that may not be even enough as working capital in a year.
We're one of the founders of who started aquaculture in Ghana, Crystal Lake, in collaboration with Water Research Institute. We had to do a trial to assess whether the local species could grow competitively in Ghana. And so this was partly funded by Danida. So we did that, and we established that the local species could grow competitively in Ghana. This is, of course, and taking into consideration how much tilapia is being sold in Ghana. So it proved that aquaculture could be viable in Ghana.
What we are giving out today, because previously, like I told you, you harvest your fish at the end of 6 months, and you may ask yourself, are they being hatched in the cage? But now, farmers who are the customers tells you, look, Mr. Limo, your products are good, your fingerlings are very good. Where is the source? And we tell them the source. And I'm happy because it's a win-win situation. You grow, I grow. So whenever I get the feedback from the customers, it makes me happy. And also, we try to do extension services. All our customers that we supply, we make sure every month we go and check their body weight, help them to calculate the biomass, and advise them on what feed change, what you have to do, what you don't have to do. And I think it's helping the industry a lot.
I started, hatching and selling fingerlings. I started with 3,000, but right now I am selling 4 million of fingerlings and 2,000 fry. I went to Nigeria last year. I learned, wow, that was a shock to me, because when I saw the extent and the progress that our fellow Nigerians are doing, when I came back, I said, that is a revolution. The catfish industry in Nigeria is a revolution that is required here in Malawi.
As the global demand increases and more opportunities are created, better and improved nutrition for children with dietary requirements met by the consumption of fish, new job opportunities like feed processing, fish fingerlings, construction of net, and other fish farming related activities. to drastically and effectively reduce poverty and also feed growing population.
Of all our enterprise development programs, of all of them, agriculture is the number one that has helped so many people out of poverty. Because nobody wants to die inside poverty. Able to tell them, look, there is a way out of this poverty, and they are ready to. And when you get to the side, you now see people who are nowhere before, and today they own houses, they own cars, they have their children in good schools, they can eat well, and all that.
My name is Sunday Oyo. The business is okay because for what we are doing, I have a wife and 4 kids, and I'm living well with my kids with the business because what we are making per week is okay for me and my family.
The success recorded in the recent past years, which is already attracting investors, more national and international investors are invited to come and invest and partake of the riches of investing in aquaculture.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Certain conditions such as hypertension, high cholesterol, irregular heartbeats, and diabetes, medical experts say increase the risk of having a stroke. On the other hand, good night's sleep, physical activity, and less salt intake, among other healthy lifestyle, help in keeping it at bay. Hello and welcome to Health Options. On this episode of the program, we shall take a look at how the medical emergency called stroke can be prevented. Thanks for joining us on the program. I am Rabi Abdullah. If you're just joining us, this is Health Options and our focus is stroke prevention. So, what is stroke and how does it occur?
Stroke is a very common disease worldwide, even more common in our population as well. Anything that interrupts blood supply to the brain tissue can cause stroke. That means there's a variety of things that can lead to stroke. Long enough can cause damage to the brain. A stroke can be sudden. In other words, it can just be the final presentation. A man goes to bed and doesn't wake up because he's had a major bleed when one of the blood vessels in the brain has ruptured. And it's large enough to interfere with brain function. It becomes irreversible, and that can lead to death. You can have warning signs of stroke, meaning in another layman's term, it's a mini strokes. In other words, stroke may not be complete. It can occur and reoccur and become permanent. We have what we call transient ischemic attack, which is in layman's term, mini stroke. If those symptoms of stroke, warning stroke, resolve in less than 24 hours, and there's resolution of symptoms without permanent damage. That is a mini stroke. So somebody can say, hey, I woke up this morning, I felt some tingling in my hand, some weakness, my face was, I couldn't speak well. The next day is normal. That's mini stroke. That's a warning stroke. And it shouldn't be ignored. Why? Because 30% of people who present that way, who have this warning stroke, can have a permanent stroke or a completed stroke in a year. So you see that the ratio is high. So it's warning you. You shouldn't ignore it. The fact that you recovered symptoms doesn't mean you should just say, okay, I'm fine. Or start blaming somebody that they tried to kill you, you prayed and God heard your prayers, which is what our people do most. Instead of going to seek attention to say, this is what I experienced, and then they will do what science has told us to do for those type of people in order to reduce the risk of further stroke, which can occur in 30% of such individuals in a year. When somebody has had completed stroke, they have some type of disability, muscle weakness, limb weakness, the face is drawn to one side. You ask them to lift their eyes up, they have difficulty. One side of the body may be weaker, you want them to grip your hand, and exactly. Ask them to lift their leg, there's some difficulty. Ask them to walk, there's some difficulty. That's some level of paralysis, correct? So because there has been interruption in that part of the brain that controls that body movement is affected. And we have left